The collective unconscious. Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century, introduced the concept of the collective unconscious as a fundamental component of his analytical psychology. Unlike the personal unconscious, which contains repressed memories, forgotten experiences, and individual complexes, the collective unconscious refers to structures of the unconscious mind shared by all human beings. This shared reservoir contains archetypes and primordial images that shape our perceptions, behaviors, and cultural expressions. In this essay, we delve into the origins of the collective unconscious, define its core components, explore its symbolic language, assess its implications for psychology and culture, and consider the criticisms and ongoing debates surrounding Jung's revolutionary ideas. At the dawn of the 20th century, psychology was in a state of flux. Sigmund Freud's pioneering work on the unconscious had already established the importance of hidden mental processes. However, while Freud focused primarily on repressed desires and personal history, Carl Jung observed that there were deeper layers to the human psyche, layers that transcended individual experience. Jung's work was informed not only by his clinical practice, but also by his interests in mythology, religion, and philosophy. He observed recurring symbols and narratives across cultures and historical epochs, suggesting that there was a universal component to the human psyche. The divergence between Jung and Freud became evident as Jung began exploring the spiritual and symbolic dimensions of the psyche. While Freud's model centered on the id, ego, and superego, Jung proposed a model that included not only the personal unconscious but also a deeper, inherited collective layer. This collective unconscious, according to Jung, was the source of universal archetypes, the intrinsic images and patterns of behavior that emerge spontaneously in dreams, myths, and artistic expressions. Jung's willingness to incorporate mythological and religious symbolism into his theoretical framework opened the door to a broader understanding of the human mind. The collective unconscious is a term coined by Jung to denote a part of the unconscious mind that is not shaped by personal experience but is inherited from our ancestral past. It is a repository of universal symbols, images, and motifs that recur across cultures and epochs. Jung described this layer of the psyche as collective because it is common to all human beings regardless of their individual backgrounds. He argued that just as our bodies inherit physical characteristics from previous generations, our minds inherit psychological patterns that predate the individual. Understanding the collective unconscious requires distinguishing it from the personal unconscious. The personal unconscious contains repressed memories, forgotten events, and unique experiences that are specific to the individual. In contrast, the collective unconscious is impersonal. It does not stem from one's personal life but from the shared history of humanity. While the contents of the personal unconscious are unique to each person, the collective unconscious is universal, manifesting itself in shared dreams, myths, and symbols that resonate across different cultures. Jung's notion of the collective unconscious was groundbreaking in that it suggested a biological and cultural inheritance. He believed that the human brain is pre-wired with certain archetypal structures, a kind of psychological DNA passed down through generations. These archetypes are thought to be innate predispositions that influence how we perceive and react to the world. Cultural phenomena such as myths, rituals, and artistic expressions often reflect these deep-seated images, which have been shaped over millennia by the evolutionary challenges and experiences of our ancestors. Central to Jung's theory of the collective unconscious are archetypes. Archetypes are universal, archaic symbols and images that recur across different cultures and historical periods. They are the fundamental building blocks of the human psyche, shaping the way we experience the world and interact with others. Archetypes are not directly learned, rather, they emerge spontaneously in dreams, art, religion, and mythology. Jung famously described archetypes as forms without content, suggesting that while they provide a framework or template for experience, their specific manifestations can vary widely. For example, the archetype of the mother can appear as a nurturing figure, a goddess, or even a symbol of nature, depending on cultural context. The self, considered the central archetype, the self represents the totality of the psyche and the unity of conscious and unconscious elements. It symbolizes the quest for wholeness and integration. The process of individuation, Jung's term for the journey toward self-realization, is fundamentally the process of integrating these disparate parts of the self. The shadow encompasses the darker, unconscious aspects of the personality that are often repressed or denied. It contains traits that the conscious self may find unacceptable. Engaging with the shadow is a crucial step in the individuation process, as it allows individuals to acknowledge and integrate these hidden aspects, thereby achieving greater wholeness. The anima and animus. These archetypes represent the feminine and masculine aspects within the psyche, respectively. Jung proposed that every man has an anima, the inner feminine, and every woman has an animus, the inner masculine. The integration of these elements is essential for balancing one's personality and achieving psychological maturity. The hero archetype symbolizes the part of us that embarks on a journey of transformation and faces trials in order to overcome obstacles. The hero's journey is a recurring motif in myths and literature, reflecting the universal struggle to rise above adversity and emerge transformed. The wise old man-woman, often depicted as a mentor or guide, this archetype represents wisdom, guidance, and insight. Figures such as Merlin, Gandalf, or even spiritual leaders in various traditions serve as embodiments of this archetype, helping the hero navigate the complexities of the journey. The trickster is a playful, subversive figure who disrupts the status quo and challenges conventional norms. This archetype can appear as a catalyst for change, forcing individuals to question their assumptions and embrace transformation through humor or mischief. Jung believed that archetypes manifest themselves in dreams, visions, myths, and symbols. For example, a dream featuring a great flood may resonate with archetypal themes of cleansing and renewal. Similarly, the recurring image of a labyrinth in mythology might represent the journey into the depths of the unconscious. By analyzing these symbols, Jung argued that individuals can gain insight into the universal patterns that shape their lives. This process of interpretation was central to Jungian therapy, which sought to help patients integrate unconscious material and achieve a more balanced state of being. One of Jung's most influential contributions to psychology is the concept of individuation, the process by which a person integrates the conscious and unconscious aspects of the psyche to become a whole, individuated self. Individuation involves recognizing and assimilating the contents of both the personal and collective unconscious. Through this process, individuals come to terms with their shadow, embrace their innate archetypes, and develop a more balanced and authentic sense of self. The archetypes stored within the collective unconscious serve as both guides and obstacles on the path of individuation. For instance, the confrontation with the shadow can be a difficult yet necessary step toward self-realization. By acknowledging the darker aspects of one's personality, an individual can learn to integrate these qualities in a constructive manner. Similarly, the anima or animus may challenge one's preconceived notions about gender and identity, prompting a deeper exploration of what it means to be fully human. Jung developed methods such as dream analysis and active imagination to help individuals access and integrate the contents of the collective unconscious. In dream analysis, recurring symbols and motifs are interpreted as manifestations of archetypal energy. Active imagination, on the other hand, involves engaging in a dialogue with the images that emerge from the unconscious, often through creative expressions such as writing or art. These techniques are designed to bridge the gap between the conscious and unconscious minds, facilitating a process of inner transformation that leads to greater self-awareness and psychological balance. Jung's concept of the collective unconscious has far-reaching implications for our understanding of mythology and religion. He argued that many of the symbols, narratives, and rituals found in diverse cultures are expressions of universal archetypes. For example, the flood myth appears in the traditions of ancient Mesopotamia, Greece, and even among Native American cultures. Such recurring themes suggest that the myths are not mere inventions of a particular culture, but rather manifestations of deeper psychological truths rooted in the collective unconscious. The influence of the collective unconscious extends into the realms of art and literature. Many artists and writers, consciously or unconsciously, tap into archetypal themes that resonate with the universal human experience. Works such as Goethe's Faust, Shakespeare's tragedies, and even modern films often explore themes of transformation, inner conflict, and the quest for wholeness. According to Jung, these artistic expressions are not simply cultural artifacts but are imbued with the psychic energy of archetypes. They serve as a bridge between the individual and the collective, offering insights into the shared patterns of human existence. In today's world, Jung's ideas continue to influence popular culture, psychology, and even spiritual movements. The resurgence of interest in mythology, dream interpretation, and archetypal symbolism in literature and film can be seen as a reflection of the enduring power of the collective unconscious. From the blockbuster films that explore the hero's journey to the popularity of tarot cards and meditation practices, modern culture remains steeped in the language of archetypes. Jung's work has not only enriched academic psychology but has also offered a vocabulary for understanding the symbolic dimensions of everyday life. Despite its profound impact on psychology and the humanities, Jung's theory of the collective unconscious has faced significant criticism, particularly from the scientific community. Critics argue that the concept is difficult to operationalize or test empirically. Unlike other psychological constructs that can be measured through experiments or standardized assessments, the collective unconscious is an abstract theoretical idea. The lack of empirical evidence has led some to dismiss Jung's ideas as speculative and metaphysical rather than scientific. Another point of contention is the universality of archetypes. Some scholars have questioned whether the symbolic images Jung identified truly transcend cultural and historical boundaries, or whether they reflect the biases of Western thought. Critics argue that Jung's examples are drawn predominantly from European mythology and may not adequately represent the diversity of human experience. Nonetheless, proponents of Jung's theory point to cross-cultural studies that suggest certain themes, such as creation myths, the hero's journey, and the concept of the trickster, appear in many disparate societies, lending support to the idea of a shared collective unconscious. Jung's language of symbolism and metaphor has also been a source of debate. Some interpret his work as a poetic and metaphorical description of psychological processes, while others have taken a more literal view of archetypes as inherited psychic structures. This ambiguity has led to varied interpretations and applications of Jung's ideas in fields ranging from psychotherapy to literary criticism. The challenge remains in balancing the metaphorical richness of the collective unconscious with the need for a rigorous, testable framework in psychological science. Jung's exploration of the collective unconscious has had a lasting impact on psychotherapy. Jungian analysis, with its focus on dream interpretation, active imagination, and the integration of archetypal imagery, has provided a unique therapeutic framework for understanding and addressing deep-seated psychological issues. By helping patients recognize and integrate unconscious content, Jungian therapy aims to facilitate individuation, a process of self-realization and inner harmony that can lead to profound personal growth. Beyond clinical psychology, Jung's theories have influenced a broad range of disciplines within the humanities. In literature, art, and cultural studies, the language of archetypes has become a powerful tool for interpreting texts, films, and cultural artifacts. Critics and scholars often draw upon Jungian concepts to explore themes of transformation, identity, and the human condition. This interdisciplinary influence underscores the versatility of Jung's ideas, which continue to inspire creative interpretations and scholarly debates across fields. Jung's work resonates deeply with spiritual seekers, many of whom find that the exploration of the collective unconscious offers a way to understand the mystical and transcendent dimensions of human experience. His ideas have been integrated into various spiritual and New Age practices, where the process of individuation is seen as a path toward enlightenment and wholeness. Jung's willingness to engage with religion and mythology, and to treat these domains as valid sources of psychological insight, has opened up new avenues for exploring the intersection of mind, soul, and spirit. In the contemporary era of globalization, there is renewed interest in how Jung's ideas might help explain the universal themes that cross cultural boundaries. Researchers in cross-cultural psychology continue to examine how archetypal motifs appear in diverse cultural narratives, suggesting that while the manifestations may differ, the underlying structures of the collective unconscious remain similar. This area of study holds promise for fostering greater understanding and empathy among different cultural groups, as shared symbols provide a common language for expressing fundamental human experiences. Recent advances in neuroscience and cognitive psychology have spurred attempts to integrate Jung's theories with contemporary scientific models of the brain. While the collective unconscious remains a concept that is not easily quantified, some researchers have suggested that neural networks, evolutionary psychology, and studies of memory could provide a modern framework for understanding the transmission of archetypal images. Although this integration is still in its early stages, it represents a potential bridge between the metaphorical language of Jungian psychology and the empirical rigor of modern neuroscience. In an increasingly digital world, technology and big data analysis offer new methods for exploring patterns in human behavior and culture. Some modern scholars are beginning to use computational techniques to analyze vast collections of text, art, and social media content in order to identify recurring themes and symbols that may correspond to Jungian archetypes. These approaches not only validate the enduring relevance of the collective unconscious, but also provide innovative tools for understanding how archetypal narratives shape contemporary society. At its core, the concept of the collective unconscious offers a profound model for understanding the interconnectedness of human experience. By positing that certain symbols and images are shared across humanity, Jung's theory encourages us to see our individual lives as part of a larger, interwoven tapestry of myth, history, and shared psychic heritage. This perspective can be empowering, as it suggests that the struggles, dreams, and aspirations of every individual are connected to a deeper, universal narrative. For many, the exploration of the collective unconscious is not just an academic exercise, but a pathway to personal transformation. Through practices like dream analysis, active imagination, and creative expression, individuals can access and integrate archetypal images that may have long been hidden within the recesses of their minds. This integration can lead to a more balanced, authentic sense of self and contribute to the overall process of individuation, a journey toward wholeness that remains as vital today as it was in Jung's time. While the collective unconscious continues to inspire and inform, it also faces ongoing critique and debate. Scholars in both psychology and cultural studies grapple with questions about its empirical validity, cultural specificity, and relevance in a rapidly changing world. Nevertheless, the very nature of the collective unconscious, as a reservoir of timeless images and symbols, ensures that Jung's ideas will continue to provoke thoughtful discussion and inspire innovative research. As the fields of psychology, neuroscience, and cultural studies evolve, there is potential for a richer, more nuanced understanding of how deep-seated archetypes shape not only individual lives, but also the collective narrative of humanity. Carl Jung's concept of the collective unconscious represents one of the most ambitious and imaginative attempts to capture the universal aspects of the human psyche. By proposing that beneath the personal layers of memory and experience lies a shared reservoir of archetypes and symbols, Jung challenged us to rethink what it means to be human. His ideas remind us that our dreams, myths, and cultural narratives are not merely personal or isolated phenomena, but are expressions of a deeper, inherited psychic reality. The collective unconscious has opened pathways for understanding the interplay between individual psychology and the larger cultural and spiritual narratives that have shaped human history. Whether explored through the lens of psychotherapy, literature, art, or cross-cultural studies, Jung's theory continues to resonate as a profound testament to the interconnectedness of all human experience. The enduring appeal of archetypes, from the nurturing mother to the intrepid hero, speaks to the universality of our inner journeys, a journey toward wholeness that transcends time, culture, and individual experience. In the modern era, where rapid change and technological advances often leave individuals feeling isolated and fragmented, Jung's work offers both solace and insight. It provides a framework for understanding our inner lives as part of a larger, shared human story, a story that is continually being rewritten with each new generation. The collective unconscious, with its reservoir of ancient wisdom and symbolic imagery, invites us to look beyond our immediate concerns and to connect with the timeless aspects of our being. As we continue to explore the frontiers of psychology and neuroscience, and as cultural expressions evolve in our globalized society, the collective unconscious remains a powerful reminder that beneath the surface of modern life lies a deep, unchanging core of shared human experience. In this sense, Jung's work endures not only as a theoretical construct, but as a living, dynamic force that continues to shape our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. In conclusion, the collective unconscious, according to Carl Jung, is much more than an abstract idea. It is a vibrant, transformative concept that bridges the gap between the individual and the universal. It challenges us to explore the hidden depths of our minds, to confront and integrate our shadow aspects, and ultimately, to embark on a journey toward wholeness and self-realization. Through its rich tapestry of archetypes, myths, and symbolic imagery, the collective unconscious offers a timeless roadmap for understanding the inner workings of the human psyche and for connecting with the eternal narrative of human existence. We have explored the multifaceted dimensions of the collective unconscious, from its historical roots and theoretical underpinnings to its cultural manifestations and ongoing impact on modern thought. Jung's ideas continue to inspire both clinical practice and creative exploration, affirming the belief that within each of us lies a wellspring of shared human experience, a silent, potent reservoir that shapes our dreams, our art, and our deepest quests for meaning. By delving into the mysteries of the collective unconscious, we not only gain insight into the inner workings of our own minds, but also tap into a universal narrative that unites us all. It is a narrative that transcends time and place, inviting us to recognize that the journey toward self-discovery is as ancient as it is ongoing, a journey that ultimately leads us back to the core of our shared humanity. In embracing the wisdom of the collective unconscious, we acknowledge that our inner lives are inextricably linked to the vast tapestry of myth, culture, and evolution, a tapestry that continues to evolve with each new generation. Jung's legacy lives on in every dream, every myth, and every act of creative expression, reminding us that the deepest truths of our existence are woven into the very fabric of our being. With its expansive vision and transformative potential, Jung's theory of the collective unconscious remains a vital and enduring contribution to our understanding of the human mind. It challenges us to look beyond the confines of our personal experiences, to embrace the universal symbols that connect us, and to embark on a lifelong journey toward integration, wholeness, and self-realization. In a world where the pressures of modernity often fragment our sense of self, the collective unconscious offers a powerful antidote, a call to remember that we are all part of a larger, shared story, one that is rich in symbolism, mystery, and the promise of transformation. Through continued exploration and dialogue, Jung's ideas will undoubtedly continue to illuminate the path toward a deeper understanding of the human spirit, a journey as boundless and transformative as the collective unconscious itself. This comprehensive exploration of the collective unconscious, according to Carl Jung, demonstrates how his pioneering ideas continue to shape not only the field of psychology but also the broader cultural and spiritual landscape. By recognizing the deep, shared layers of the human psyche, we open ourselves to a world of meaning, creativity, and connection, a world where the ancient and the modern, the personal and the universal, converge in the endless quest for wholeness.